good clone troopers follow orders. But does that make this guy a bad trooper? I don't think so. Let's find out. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Nick's Toy Box. Today we are taking a look at the new Hot Toys Star Wars line, Captain Rex. Now this, a fan favorite clone trooper, I am in that group. So to have this guy in hand is super exciting, especially around this time frame where May the 4th, Revenge of the 6th, and the anniversary of Revenge of the Sith all happening. It's awesome to be getting all the Star Wars figures in. And this guy is definitely up there on the list of guys I was really excited to get. Just wanted to show off a couple of action shots real quick because I love this figure. But let's mosey our way into the unboxing experience. Since this is not a DX figure, this is going to be our normal unboxing, especially for what we expect for Star Wars figures. So we have the standard looking box with what used to be a wraparound cover, but now it kind of folds into the box, which here with that beautiful Captain Rex blue. Really love it. I love all the astrology looking stuff, which is paying homage to the stuff from the Ahsoka series. Like I said, not DX normal, so this pulls up rather than pull out. And then we get this beautiful, awesome toy photo op here, which this isn't going to be the thick stock. This is going to be the flimsy piece, as you can see here. But this is still really cool. I love the inclusion of it because it's dope. Some people use them as posters or backdrops. So it is a cool inclusion. Hope we never get rid of it. Continuing on from that, we get our pretty standard box here. This one, like I said, you have to pull it out. No other fancy way of doing it, but we do get a good variety of accessories here with Phase 1 and Phase 2 armor included, and with a set of hands to match each, which is awesome. We will get into it, but I think we're kind of overdue to be getting some of this stuff out so we can actually take a look at everything, because there is a lot to look at here. Like I was saying, we do get the inclusion of Phase 1 and Phase 2 armor. It's dope. It really saves, I think, a lot of time and energy trying to get two figures. Of course, displaying, you would have to buy two separate figures if you wanted both on display. But if you're trying to do like toy photography, this can really help you save time by having one figure for both. So let's go and start getting this guy taken out of all of his old packaging so we can see him in all his beauty. Like I've said, I've had this debate a little bit. I'll take this little time here to kind of go over it once more. I want to go over how many accessories we have here in comparison to like the Anakin I had just gotten, which was a DX model. And yet for this one, we're getting way more accessories. And I don't think this base is inherently cooler than the Anakin base, but this one has some liveliness to it that makes it feel like it's actually in the part of the Star Wars world more than that other base. I'm not going to be on the soapbox the whole time, I promise. This is a Captain Rex video. I just think it's kind of funny getting this amount of accessories for just a normal Star Wars figure. I'm not mad about that part. I'm mad that it kind of feels like after having both of those figures in hand in such a close time between one another, I'm like, what besides the Artisan Hair is DX? Anyways, I won't stay on this soapbox forever. I'm going to hop down now. Back to our regularly scheduled programming here. Captain Rex. In hand, immediate first thoughts, I love this figure. It's actually my first clone trooper that I ever had for Hot Toys. And he really blew me out of the water. I really didn't know what to fully expect. And I will go over what I like and what I don't like. But first, let's kind of, dive into these accessories here. I do think this base is cool. It does look like the battlegrounds that we saw in the flashback scenes from the Ahsoka show. So having this as an inclusion is really cool. Only some nitpicking on my end. I would like to have seen some like clone trooper footprints in the sand, or maybe some like blasting effects or something. Maybe something that makes it doesn't look so polished. But it's a base stand. I'm going to have a figure standing on it, so it's not that serious. Let me know in the comments below if you struggled with your base as much as I did with mine. I, for the life of me, could not get this in until I had to force it to the point I thought I was going to break. Bit concerning, Not the experience I normally am used to with Hot Toys and their bases. Having them like manhandle it that much was a bit concerning, but we did get there, so I guess that counts as a win. Not really a whole lot to explain about this here. It goes between the crotch. That's all that really matters. Time to go over accessories here. We got tons, which is dope. So first things first, we have the Phase 1 helmet. I absolutely love it. Phase 1 was always one of my favorite designs for troopers throughout the whole Star Wars series. So having this with Captain Rex is like childhood dream come true. Love the wear and tear on it, the dirt and specks and all that, and all the nooks and crannies really makes this feel real and lived in, which is what we want. The inside, there's no head sculpt or anything like that. Pops on and off. With that, transition over to the chest piece. Swapping these out is really easy, not difficult to do. I was on the fence of how that was going to work, but it's really easy. Love this here. I love it with the look of like the actual leather on that piece. Bends around and has a lot of mobility and flexibility and give, which is great. Doesn't feel stiff as if I'm going to break it, which of course we want for a figure when we're going to be posing and moving around. Alternative art pieces. I guess I should elaborate on that. On him with his Phase 2 equipment, he has like all of the markings indicating who knows what, fans speculate, whereas these ones from his Phase 1 days are clean. So that is a cool inclusion. I like how you can swap them out to get the accuracy from Phase 1 to Phase 2 Captain Rex. And of course, this wouldn't be a trooper if there wasn't the inclusion of some blasters. I'm sorry. Don't know the nomenclature off the top of my head right now. Should have done that. But we have this more of a long-range blaster, but anybody knows that Captain Rex's blaster is the one that he's going to dual wield, and that's the 2 pistols. Well, this is excellently painted, sculpted, and has some wear and tear on it. Never going to see it with my Rex on display. Going to only see him using these. These are beautifully done. Try to get them in focus here, but I really love the silver around the barrel. Come on, get my camera to come into play. And there we go. I love that silver around the barrel. I love the wear and tear on these things. These things are absolutely phenomenal, and I just absolutely love them to death. And of course, there's 2. Glad that we got 2. And you have the holsters on the side on his armor that we will get to be able to holster these guns. So awesome inclusions all around. Glad we got them. Up next, super small accessory, but still cool to have. Let's believe one of the grenades. I don't have a whole lot to say about it. Glad to have it. I'm never going to use it on a display. It's sculpted nicely and painted nicely. I just don't really care for it. Just my personal opinion. Next up, hands. Right off the bat, love the inclusion that we get some for Phase 1 and Phase 2. So that's really nice. They're crafted well, molded really well. I love the difference between them with the little markers on there and some more slight wear and tear. It's not like a big difference. Really, it's just the tally marks on them. We do get a nice array of them. They're all painted and sculpted beautifully. I don't have a whole lot to talk about in regards to these hands. I like them a lot. They are really cool. We do get a good amount of them. So, I'm just not going to go into full detail. What I do want to go into detail is this guy right here. Like I said earlier, this is my first introduction with Hot Toys, or any 1/6 scale for that matter, for clone troopers / stormtroopers. Of course, it had to be Captain Rex, like I was saying, one of my personal favorites of all time. And this guy hits pretty much all my markers. His cloth goods were needed are really nice. Seeing the weld lines on his Phase 2 armor is beautiful, very nostalgic to the Rex I know and love. Everything about this guy is really, really good. Would a head sculpt been nice? Sure, because they have a head sculpt for him. I know we didn't see him unmasked in the Ahsoka show, but giving us the inclusion when they're already giving us this much for each phase, I just feel like we could have gotten it. I see why they didn't, so it's not like I'm mad that we feel like we're getting robbed of an accessory. I just feel like they could have given us one because we've seen these sculpts before. But regardless of that, this guy is really awesome. Has some really cool shelf presence. He's not like overwhelming. And he's not underwhelming. I think he fits right in that sweet spot where a lot of 1/6 tend to reside. So let's take a closer look at him. Articulation is about what you would expect for an armored 1/6 scale. He does have the full side-to-side swivel, but beyond that, like, the head is kind of limited. We'll go more in detail about that. I want you to get a good look at the armor itself. Like I have already said, not trying to sound like a broken record, it's done really well. Love the wear and tear throughout it, but it's not like over the top where it's just like, come on, that seems excessive. And I don't find myself like trying to look for it. It just kind of shows up organically, and I think that's the best wear and tear we can get. Don't oversell it, don't undersell it. And this Captain Rex figure definitely delivers on that perfect amount of, hey, this guy has seen combat. So, way to go, Hot Toys. I really admire that. And like I was saying, circling back to articulation, underneath this armor, we have a like cloth good over the actual body. And with the armor being able to slide up and down like on the arms and the legs, you get really good articulation and mobility in those areas. Up in the hip area, like where the up of the thighs are, not nearly as much because of the way that the armor hits the other armor pieces in the pelvic area. We still get really great elbow bends and knee bends. As you can see here, absolutely phenomenal work. Ankle movement is nice, what we want to see. So you can get some pretty good posing in. Just, you can't get the legs up that far up, but you can get them back a bit. So just keep that in mind. Ab crunch, pretty much non-existent because armored core. I don't know what you would be expecting beyond that. Head up and down is a little bit robbed because of the helmet. Once again, that is kind of to be expected when we have a stiff guy. But I will say, for him being with an armor, it's actually better than what I've seen for other armored 1/6 scale figures. So don't think it sucks. Just know that, like, of course, there's been better. But I'm really impressed for a clone trooper. The skirt wired, awesome, love it. So it makes posing and getting some cool shots in incredibly fun and dynamic and not just flat. So absolutely love that inclusion. Yeah, I'm really blown away with this guy. Like I was saying, like, moving around is really good. I'll show you here the operation of swapping out the armor, just so you can get a feel, because I talked about earlier being super easy. You have these two seam lines, pull them apart, and it'll come off really easy. I really didn't struggle with it at all for mine. And then in the front on his chest, there was a Velcro piece. Pull against it, you will feel the resistance. At first I was unsure, but once I saw the Velcro, that's all it is. And then you can grab your other piece and literally just do that process backwards. Super easy, not hard at all, doesn't do any damage to the figure, nothing over time like that's going to be problematic. So I love it. I love how easy it is to go back and forth. And getting the head on is super easy. Just pop it on. You don't have to worry about messing up any eyes or hair or anything like that. Just a good old trooper helmet. So absolutely love that. I'm not going to try to sound like a broken record, but changing up this guy's armor is super easy. You'll see it here in the videos. I kind of do a quick rundown. You already know the helmet. You already know the chest piece. Watch me do everything else. Super easy, super simple. As long as you know you're putting it on the right arm or the right leg and it's not backwards or anything, you could have it done in less than a minute. It's really that easy, which it's not rocket science. But with that, I'm glad Hot Toys has made it as easy as possible, especially for a character that can have totally two different parts of accessories on him. So hats off to y'all for not only giving it to us, but making it that easy to do it, because it makes it more fun and more likely that we're going to do these things instead of being like, that kind of feels like a headache. I'm just going to keep it in the box and never think about it. Super easy to do, which makes it more fun. I think I'm done saying super easy to do in this aspect. Probably need to move on. While you continue to watch me do this, let's have a conversation. I'm curious to get your opinion. Tariffs. Try not to bring up a lot of that stuff into these videos because we want to think about the fun side of collecting. But let me know in the comments below if any of your figures, including this Captain Rex here, have been put to the wayside because of tariffs and the pricing that it's doing to the hobby. Me personally, as long as it doesn't get too crazy, Sideshow's eating a lot of the tariffs as of right now. So I can continue doing this. Me buying from other websites like Toys Assemble, which is where I bought this guy from, and other vendors, has to get pushed back exponentially because of this inclusion of tariffs. So you let me know in the comments below how those types of things are impacting you, your collecting, and what you think it means for the hobby. We're going to put a pin in that and push it away to the side. I don't know if we'll come back to it in this video. Maybe we'll come back to it in a future video if stuff has changed. Regardless, curious to hear your opinion. Back to the task at hand. Let's just talking about Rex. Just showing you some side-by-side comparisons of the Phase 1 and Phase 2 and just how it looks. Like I've said, I love the wear and tear and the tally marks and all that stuff on Phase 2. It's going to be how he is in my display. Absolutely love him. Here he is with some cool posing, with some lights and stuff incorporated, just so you can get a feel of how this guy might look on your display. This is a beautiful figure. If you can get him for what he needs to go for, not including all this other crazy stuff, I recommend you go for it. I love him to death. Phase 1 and Phase 2 helmets, such a dope inclusion. You can do some really cool stuff with it. And I love it. I think he's so cool. And as being a big Anakin in the, Bible First fan, it was a no-brainer. Definitely had to get him. And I'm curious to get your opinion on it when you comment below and you let me know. But with that, I think we're going to be getting to the point while I wrap up this video. All in all, I really love this figure. Like I was saying, some of my minor nitpicks here and there would have been, I wish we would have gotten a head sculpt, but I'm not mad about it. And just some of the higher up leg posing area. But other than that, phenomenal figure. Please make sure you subscribe, like and share, and comment, and engage, with notification bell and stuff like that. It really helps propel my channel so I can do more content like this, and continue to show this hobby that no one loves. Just let me know what you think about this figure, if it's one you're going to get in your collection. As always, this is Nick's Toy Box, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.